believe that more troops being deployed is the answer, or do you think it's time to wind this deployment down?
Well, when you ask, is that the answer, you have to first talk about what the question is. And the question is there a national issue of crime and safety? And certainly the American people, by all polls, indicate that people are experiencing it and report that there is. And certainly in the nation's capital, there has been unbelievable reports of just the criminal activity, those individuals who have succumbed to violent crime. And certainly there's been a reporting that the National Guard presence has made a difference.
Right, no question. I think crime is down 30%, something like that, in D.C. in the last 4 months. I want to turn to Ukraine now, another issue very important to you. A team of Ukrainian negotiators is meeting right now in Miami with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. What's your understanding of where the negotiations stand right now? There were concerns initially that the White House plan was too pro-Russia. Do you still have those concerns?
Well, I think we all have those concerns. The president's goal of peace is incredibly important, and we saw today with Secretary Rubio his statement of we have to have a strong and sovereign Ukraine, and that's everyone's goal, and certainly a prosperous Ukraine. And we saw the Ukrainian representative there who is, committed, and we certainly think, and I think everyone thinks that President Zelensky is committed to peace. But, one thing that I think everybody understands is that you can't be America first and pro-Russia, because, Russia is a self-declared adversary of the United States. It's fielding, new advanced nuclear weapons that are specifically targeting the United States. It's constantly attacking the United States with offensive cyber. It continuously identifies both NATO and the West, the United States, as its adversary. So in this, and of course, when it identifies Ukraine as its adversary, it does so in identifying the West and the United States as its adversary. You have to understand that the balance of this peace arrangement has to be one where you have to look at Russia as a skeptical adversary.
Speaking of the question of being pro-Russian, this week Bloomberg got a hold of this transcript of a call between Steve Witkoff, the special envoy, and a Putin advisor in which Witkoff appeared to be coaching the Russian on how to win over President Trump. And there are several Republicans that have great concerns about that. Brian Fitzpatrick of Pennsylvania called it a major problem. Don Bacon of Nebraska said Witkoff fully favors the Russians and should be fired. What do you think?
Well, the part that concerned me most is that there appeared to be an orchestration of giving Putin an opportunity to speak to Trump before President Zelensky was on his way to the White House. And I wouldn't want any orchestration of lessening President Zelensky's relationship with Trump, because it's very important when you have negotiations that, especially as you have, in this instance, Russia is being, obviously unbelievably murderous of the Ukrainian people. It is an aggressive authoritarian regime. In this, it's killing civilians. It is not just, this is not a military against military action. They are bombing into Ukraine and murderously killing civilians in Ukraine. The Ukrainian people are being subjected to this, and President Trump needs to be able to hear Zelensky's voice clearly and not just the authoritarian, murderous Putin.
So given your concerns, should Witkoff continue to serve as one of the main U.S. negotiators here? And should he be sent by President Trump to Moscow this week to meet with Putin?
I think you can't take just one slice of someone's conversation during a long, stretched out aspects of negotiations as reflective. But I think it's certainly important that when we do get that opportunity, that our voices are heard of caution and concern. And the orchestration of inserting Putin's voice before Zelensky's is very concerning. And I think the White House should be very concerned about any efforts to orchestrate Putin's voice at the White House before Zelensky's, because Ukraine's sovereignty and security needs to be preeminent. And we heard that this morning from Rubio, and that needs to be the focus.
And President Trump said this was just regular deal making. I want to turn to Venezuela.